Hi everybody, it's Kim Wilson and it's Halloween this weekend, so I'm going to show you some tricks. So first of all, I finished my paper pumpkin kit and I have some extra pieces here. So let me show you how to use your die cut negatives and also some ways to adhere vellum and keep it not from showing. Alright, so when you have a die cut piece like this, you can easily make it into a stencil. You can see here I've started just using my blending brush to add some ink to the trees here, and I always like to make some additional cards with my paper pumpkin kit with leftover pieces. So I'm going to tap my blending brush on my ink spot, and I want to get off the big splotch that you usually get right at the beginning, and then slowly blend and tap so I get some good trees there and get some good coverage of my trees. And then I'll have an additional card that I can stamp the sentiments on and add some embellishments. So there's one way to use your negative space here. And then another way is to grab your silicone sheet and liquid glue and just dab a bunch of glue there in the corner. And this time I'm going to use a sponge that I have dedicated just for using glue, because there's no washing it out once you've got glue all over it. So I'm going to dab this glue until it just is very, very fine on my sponge. And I would practice this first on a scrap piece of vellum because it's hard to get just right. You can either get too much or too little. If you get too much of the glue, then it will show through, and if you get too little, then it just won't stick. So I'm just going around the edges here and dabbing on my glue, and then just trying to make sure that I don't have any glue that I can actually see. I just want a really fine coat of the adhesive. So let's see, I'll grab a piece of the shaded spruce cardstock here and just glue that down like so. And you can see there's a little bit of, it shows through a little bit, but it's kind of all spread out, so it kind of just makes it seem foggy, which is okay. If you get it too splotchy, what it will look like is this. You'll have some splotches here and there, and that brings me to the other way to adhere your, or at least cover up your vellum if you do get some splotches on it. So here I've just got a scrap of the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper, and then I've got my spruce piece here, and I stamped some trees first under this one from that stamp was included in the kit. And here's some ways to cover it up. I can put my sentiment right over that big blotch. I die cut some trees from the Peaceful Place, the dies that go with that, and I can just add some trees right over top of my other splotches. So there's a cool card I can make, and my my glue splotches are covered up. So you can just use a fine amount of glue with a sponge that you have dedicated for glue, and the silicone mat is real handy for that, or just cover it up. So there's one card, and here's a card I made previously, and I did put some trees along the side too. So I always like to use up my extra pieces. So there you go, two different ideas that you can use for your paper pumpkin kit. Have a good weekend, everybody.